Like we'll take it at your pace. Like I'm not here to like kill you or discourage you from doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like I know,
I'm not trying to flex your ego at that moment.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna play it to you. Like the harder you go, the harder I'll go. You know, there's times where we were doing mounts. I would push him. I'd give him something to see if he would take it, and the kid was picking up super fast, like to the point where I was like, oh, okay, well now I gotta step it up a little bit. So like I would give him something to see if he'd take it, and I would let him roll me over. I'd let him escape, but like I gave him pressure. And then for the last one, I said, okay, I'm gonna pick it up a little bit, and I just smashed him just to like remind him jiu-jitsu does work.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because like, I mean, a blue belt, generally speaking, can hold their own against anybody that doesn't know anything. Generally speaking, if you took the biggest, strongest dude on the planet, he still just might like throw you. Like you can't stop getting picked up and thrown necessarily. Like sure. I get thrown by you, but if you were 6'9", it doesn't matter if I'm a black belt. You can still just pick me up and just off I go. You know. But I find it to be a fascinating sport because it's a forever learning sport, and it is forever challenging. And I think there's longevity in it versus other sports and interests. Because like as I get older too, I've gotten injured more in the last year than I have in my whole life. Literally 10 years span, I've had maybe one injury. In 1 year, I had like 3. I was like, what is going on here? And I'm not doing anything crazy, but it's making me remind myself I need to like adjust, dial back things that I need to, and make sure that, you know, I can actually have longevity here.
What I love about jiu-jitsu is one of the only martial arts that you can train at full speed and mitigate injury. Like, nothing against Krav Maga, because I've also trained that. I try to train it as much as I can. But, like, you can't really go 100% in Krav.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, and then you'll gouge the eyes out. Like, you're repping it. You're not really doing it. Like, it's going to be hard to put your finger in someone's eyes and actually do it if you've never done it.
Right.
Or, like, you know, now you're going to, you know, if he swings this knife, you're going to do this. And it's like, you need someone to swing at your full speed to see how this would apply. Jiu-jitsu, you can go 100%. Yeah. Other than, and then you get into a submission, and then you stop, and you're like, "Hey, dude, I can break your arm if I wanted to." And you're, okay, I tap.
Yeah,
it's one of the only martial arts where you can go 100%. That's why it's evolved so fast and so quick, and it was actually developed, I believe, in like Japan, for people, for like the warriors to fight people in close combat because their metal was hitting armor, so they had to develop a system to fight people with melee weapons and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd say it worked if it's been that long.
It has worked. Outside of sport of jiu-jitsu and getting juicy, or as I like to say, twisted steel and sex appeal.
Hey,
what
t-shirt?
What else are you involved with? Because you were mentioning earlier that you know have a deep connection and passion for people, and that's been not only a passion, it's part of your career. But what inspired you to start doing a podcast and to kind of go down the routes you've been going on with business?
So the podcast came from I like loving talking to people and hearing their stories, you know, like I've gotten to where I'm at today being inspired by people. And the podcast is a little selfish because I can learn from people, and all the people I bring on, it's like people I want to learn from. And then I was like, dude, all these people are everyday people doing crazy things. And I'm like, it's such a cool concept to just like interview people who, if you saw walking down the street, you wouldn't bat an eye. You wouldn't know who they were. And their stories can change your life. Because that's why I'm here, because of people's stories that have changed my life and changed my trajectory. So the podcast stemmed from like me wanting to talk to these people, right? Because no matter where I'm at a bar, at a restaurant, dude, I'm that annoying dude talking to the server, talking to the waitress, talking to. I was in Florida and we were getting breakfast, and the dude just like our server just like singing like aura. Dude, by the end of our lunch, he's sitting at our table. We're having conversations. He told me about how he beat cancer, how he was supposed to die a year ago and survived, and he's so grateful for his life, and that's why he literally sings at work. And I'm like, dude, and I'm over here in Miami, stressed about my life. And this dude wasn't supposed to make it. And he's just living his best life. Eye-awakening. That same trip, I came from a hotel. We were at a bar at the hotel. And the bartender there, cool dude. We're actually friends now. His name's X. And he's always like, yo, when you come to Florida, let me know. But like we hit it off, bro, at a bar talking or whatever. We started talking about magic tricks and all this and that. And he started telling me a little bit of his story. He's like, hey, dude, I'm done at 5. And I'm like, dude, we check out today, but our flight is until tonight. But like, you want to meet up after? He's like, yeah, dude, let's meet up. We meet up at the beach. He starts doing backflips. We start talking. We end up going to the place where we had lunch earlier, and we meet the server. So now I introduce them to, and I'm just like, dude, this is crazy how life works. Like the relationships you form. So I was like, man, if I can sit with people and talk, like, why not record it? Because if our conversation can inspire someone else, that's awesome. And my first episode wasn't even an episode. It was me talking about what the podcast was going to be, what to expect and stuff like that. And someone very close to my life messaged me. You know, she had stopped running. It's my stepmom. She had stopped running because she was like almost abducted. Some dude came up to her, like tried to pick her up, put her in a car. She's a real small woman. She had stopped running. One of her passions in life, dude. She ran every day. Stopped running. She's like, you know, she calls me Muscles. She's like, you know, Muscles, like listening to your first episode, like it's really inspired me. Like I'm going to start running again. I'm going to start going to the gym again. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't even launch an episode yet. You know? So I was like, this is something I need to do. Like for me to learn from people, bounce up. I mean, I just met you because of the podcast,
right?
You know, me and Ethan, we would hang out here and there and stuff like that. But like, this is the first like conversation outside of a bar or something that we've really had, really,
right?
You know, and you know, it's gotten me closer to the people at Stout. It's connected me with people at 247 Fighting Championships. Like Hunter, awesome dude. He's the manager for them. Like like Cody Gamble, dude from the Mat Factory, comes up. Like all these connections I'm forming, and it's just opening up doors. And I'm like, you know, where most people be like, oh, these are doors for me. I'm like, dude, I can connect so many people with so many people doing this. We can just create a community, like a community of people thriving to be better. So that was the inspiration for the podcast. And ever since I launched it, man, I get DMs of, you know, people telling me what they love about it. People telling me what I should do. You know, someone, you know, performance inspired. Mm-hmm. So the guy who owns that with Mark Wahlberg, he's going to be on my episode in 2 weeks.
Wow.
I'd have never thought I'd have that dude. I'm like, why would he look at me?
Is he going to be here?
He lives in the area.
Oh, wow.
And if you saw him, his name's Tom Dowdy. If you saw him, you wouldn't even know who he is.
Really?
Dude runs Performance Inspired. He's like cool with Mark Wahlberg.
Wow.
Like stuff like that. You're like, well, that's local? You're here? Like Performance Inspired is in Warrendale.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, we do have a lot of talent that's still in this area, and people think, you know, it has been a growing place and a growing place to live in general. It's definitely changed from what I understand. I did not grow up here, but there's opportunities that we can build here. And I think Pittsburgh sometimes needs to do a better job at maintaining that and bringing more people in, truth be told, you know.
Another dude, Lonnie, who agreed to be on my podcast, he started High Rollers. High Rollers is
I've heard of that.
A huge jiu-jitsu competition. And every year they have cops versus stoners in Vegas. And the High Rollers, to be in High Rollers, you have to smoke weed before you roll.